What is up, folks? Welcome back to another live stream repair. We've got some stuff to fix up as always. We're gonna, since we've already got Mike's apart here, we're gonna wrap his maintenance up. And then we're gonna take a look at, an RMA. Number 3285 is back here with us again. Unfortunately, we had fixed a couple of HomePods for them, and no problems with our repairs. Unfortunately, they experienced some rather severe physical damage on their way back to number 3285. 2 out of the 3, I believe, that we fixed for them ended up with very less than ideal base. We'll go ahead and look at that one of those there. I already had their other one of that had issues back in here a few weeks ago, and the carnage was pretty bad. Basically, the subwoofer had smashed its way through all of the plastic retaining rings. Thankfully, I didn't have to really replace anything other than some plastic and straighten their subwoofer back out. But I am, of course, out of the shipping both ways, and I'll have to deal with claiming from, UPS or whoever I shipped with to recuperate that if they ever. It's a nightmare to deal with insurance claims with shipping damage. I tend to just kind of eat the cost and live with it and move on. It's not worth my time fighting over, $5 to $15 in plastic. But then you've got the shipping, the extra shipping, because I have to give them a shipping label to have them send it back to me, and then I got to ship it back to them. That's it adds up. It basically makes the repair puts us in the negative. I'll say that. Just barely. That's how we try to price things around here, so that if we have to warranty or replace or do anything like that, we won't be making anything at that point, but we shouldn't be losing too much either. So anyways, 3285 with an RMA, probably got bent up in shipping like the other one. Then we've got Racer. Where's my mouse? There we go. Racer? Is that how you say that? And they've got a brick. They've got the blinkies. And we've got number 3453. And not anonymous no power repair. Then we've got 35, we've got Kurt again. And then we'll wrap it up with 3417 and anonymous no power repair. So it's gonna be hopefully a pretty easy day. We're gonna hold off on the music for now because my wife was about to head out and do some errands with the kiddo, but the kid passed right out right as we were about to dress her up and throw her out the door. So she's currently asleep right down the hallway right now. We can't, afraid we won't do any music right now. But if she wakes up during our stream here, then we'll hook them up. Francisco, welcome back. Welcome. Oh, got a text from someone. Let's see. Ooh. Okay, sorry. Someone was texting me. They were potentially dropping a HomePod off here to get fixed up, so had to text them. Okay. Let's get this knocked out before they show up, I suppose. They should be here any minute then. Looks like we'll have another one for fixing today. Well, anyways, let's start with the filters on here. Get those replaced so that Mike's pod doesn't come back to us for death farts or roasty bass speakers. Alright, now that my hot air gun is behaving, here we go. Now, we didn't finish Mike's yesterday. We got halfway to taking it apart, and my wife showed up, and we split. She had dinner, and I was hungry. So we're having breakfast for dinner tonight. She's gonna make some pancakes. Yeah, you can tell these weren't replaced yet. No one's been in here yet. Alright, you little joker. There we go. Beautiful. And I'm going to scoot that top one down a little bit. I like that. Do we need a new Schottky diode? Yes, we do. It's got a 48K date code on there. Those are notorious for failing and causing no power. Did I eat? I feel a lot better than I should for how much I have eaten today, not much. Let's get this back together.
I said it traveled longer than it took. I got the wrong fucking.
Oh, Marvin, welcome, welcome. I mean, as far as I understand it, the two things that are going to age your capacitors the fastest are voltage and time. So, time you can't really do anything about. So the higher voltage rating you can get, the less they should be affected by voltage aging them. That said, anything a significant percentage higher than what they normally see in terms of voltage will shouldn't affect them. So I saw 20 to 22-ish volts across them. So, I mean, 35 volt caps should be fine. You're supposed to go, what, 15-ish% higher than what they'll see. So that's well overshooting it, but that's still what we want. We want to well overshoot that particular spec. Just to be on the safe side, it's not going to have a negative effect. Kurt, welcome back. Yeah, I would never buy filtering capacitors for audio amplifiers off of AliExpress. Couldn't trust that. Oh, Christian. Just noticed your name in the chat there. Welcome back. Alright, let's sanity check Mike here. I mean, as best as we can. Oh, I just realized we didn't even need to put this all the way together. Of course, we're taking it apart to color it up later. So... happen to your HomePod if you sent it into deep space? I'm not sure. I think it'd be just fine, really. The real-time audio correction might have a hard time, though. Alright, here we go. Let's see what went wrong here with number 3285. This is not, so if you missed my intro here at the beginning of the stream, number 3285 sent in 2 or 3 HomePods to us to get fixed, and we had no problems getting them fixed. When we sent them back to them, they reached out to us and said, hey, to simplify it, not exactly their words, but they sound like crap. So, frankly, I can't be surprised. I assumed shipping damage along the way back to them. So I shot them a shipping label to have them send one of them back. And, to no surprise, I cracked it back open and found the subwoofer had caved into the rest of the HomePod and started smashing things up. Thankfully, I was just needed some new plastics, and I sent that one back to them, and they said, "Hey, here's the other one." So here's the other one. Let's see here. We've definitely been in here before. It wouldn't come apart this easily. The last one that got banged up for them was in worse shape than this. I don't see anything cracked on the outside, but right here you can see some scuffing on the plastic. So that's where I'm going to look for a bend in the subwoofer. Actually, see anything yet? Oh, that triggered my voice assistant. Alright. Oh yeah. It's just a little, but it's enough. I found my sledgehammer. Where was that? Is that enough? That might do it. It wasn't much, but based on the physical damage that I saw on the other one, yikes. Oh, I'll go ahead and replace this too. These aren't as thick, so they won't tolerate quite as much for these ones. Oh, I'll be right back. All right. We got another one in here, folks. I'll throw their name up on the screen and we'll knock that one out next here after we get this back together. Actually, it'd probably be faster for me to just... There we go. Alright, I don't hear anything. I'm gonna just stick the logic board and a display on here. Actually, no, let's go ahead and we're only 2 or 3 minutes from having this all the way together. We might as well. Might as well go all the way and make sure it's all good all together here with you folks. TDK is a perfectly fine brand of filters to go with too. I have had no problems in the past with TDK filters. TDK, Samsung, you know, any recognizable brand name out there is going to be good. You'll be good. always welcome to let us know what part number you're looking at before you buy them, and we'll glance over the data sheet and make sure they'll work well for you. Alright, so who do we have here? Let me pull up their info. That sounds a lot better. Alright. So let's see. I don't wanna accidentally dox this fella if they didn't want their name out there. Oh dang it. I don't think I caught your name. And if you did tell me your name, I am so sorry. It took me a few months to remember my first girlfriend's name. It's a me thing. But anyways, let's see here. We've got no power. 3512. Oh, Graham. Alright. Welcome, Graham. I'll go ahead and put that down. Beautiful. So we've got Graham here with no power. After that, we're going to look at Racer. We'll go ahead and let them know they're up next. Alright, what have we got here? No lights, no power, nothing there. Couple of watts at the wall over there. That all looks to me like the usual dead diode that these have. Let's get that all fixed up with a little bit of maintenance to make it sound a little better, last a little longer. Yeah, good job on that, Marvin. Without hopping on a call with them myself, I would have probably eventually gone down the path of thinking maybe their adapter was actually broken somehow, despite it working as good as it did. But if I've learned anything indicates that user error is quite common. And I mean, especially when the user has to translate all of the information and it doesn't translate too well. I really do need to make an updated video on how to use my adapter and how to restore HomePods, but the tricky part is quite often particular steps change. The whole process generally stays the same, but a specific step here or there might change, and people end up taking the video to heart and not... Well, looks like we got some broken plastic there. Subwoofer connector just kind of fell apart on us. That's okay. We'll go ahead and replace that really quick here. I've got plenty of these connectors. Let's see. At least I thought. That's okay. That is all right. I'll just swap that out later. Let's get a different subwoofer. Good times. Okay, all that for a little bit of broken plastic there, but no big deal. Like I said, I can replace that connector and reuse their subwoofer on someone else's HomePod. But let's get to the actual repair here. Alright. We are in it. We'll knock out our maintenance first here on the back side of the amp. We've got our filtering capacitors. These love to go bad and cause death farts, roasting your subwoofer speaker and blowing up bits of your amplifier. I like to stay ahead of that kind of stuff and prevent any preventable reason for these to come back to us. Oh, no. No worries, Graham. I mean, chances are that was, well, no chance. There was no chance. That was 100% us. The plastic can get brittle and break on those connectors. I mean, we would probably be fine just leaving it alone. But I've got enough of everything around here to not worry about replacing it now and fixing the original up later here. But that happens to me every like 100-ish HomePods. That tab will break on the subwoofer or the tab on the power supply. You've got a couple options. You can just glue the sucker back in, or you can replace the connector on the component, or just ignore it. It's probably not going to come out or unplug itself. But do you want to take it apart again if it does? For me, it's a trivial matter. I'm cracking these things open in the living room with my kid. For funsies. There we go. No. Nope. Yes. Beautiful. And now the star of the show, our shorted Schottky diode. This is what has failed and caused our power issue. 48K date code, that's what we expect to see around here. Let's get that replaced. It's not like these, it's not like it's a design flaw or an underrated part. There's just a quality control issue with a particular date range of these diodes. So replacing it with a brand new one will prevent the same thing from happening again. Just in case, though, the replacement's a higher quality, higher rated, all around nicer diode. Again, not that these need it, but that's what we got. It happens to be a cheaper part, supply and demand, what have you. And there we go. We are a big boy repair shop around here. We use lead-free solder, so if you ever feel like tearing your repair apart and chewing on the parts, you'll be fine. Well, let's get this back together and get Graham their HomePod back here. Oh yeah, let me give this a quick sniff, make sure it's, yeah, that's a good woofer. I mean, I know it was a good woofer, I know which parts pot it came from, but I don't remember sniffing it, so. Gotta sniff those subwoofers. Can't let any stinky subwoofers past us. Oh, Marvin, I'm not into that. That's funny, though. I see your car out there, Grant. Graham. Very nice. We'll be able to run this right out there to him. And then we'll move on to, I think that's Racer. Not sure how you pronounce that. There's no point leaking my address. I'm a registered business, you know. It's all public info. And I've got my business address on my website. Don't be silly, Marvin. Can't play me if I played myself. You'll call me with your Google Voice number. You're just gonna get my Google voicemail. You're just gonna get my Google voicemail, Marvin. Oh, I guess technically I have 3 phone numbers. Then I've got my personal, my day job, and my Google Voice number. But I usually just give anyone for the home pod repairs my personal number. The Google Voice number is a different area code, and I don't want people thinking I'm somewhere else. But there we go. We've got Graham powering up. Let's make sure it boots all the way up, that it gives us good sound, that the volume buttons light up nice and evenly, and that should catch 99.9% of any issues that this might still have, or with any issues that we had with our repair there. And of course, since they're local, if there's anything else wrong with it and they need to take it back, it won't.
I'm having trouble
But there we go.
I'm having trouble connecting to you.
No reason to. It is looking and sounding good as new. Perhaps a little better. Let me run this out to them really quick and we will be back with the rest of today's repairs. Alright, we are back. Graham is gone. Say goodbye, Graham, everyone. Let's move on to Racer. Here we have them. Let's get them booted up here while we get everything on the screen resituated. After Racer, we've got 3453. Let's find them and let them know that they're up next. Let's see. Where is a link to my stream? There it is. All right. 3453 has been messaged. Racer is blinking. The beer is open. When did I purchase my? I don't own my house. I rent here. And yeah, that is the housing prices. That can be said for most of the places. This house is severely overvalued, man. It's really ridiculous. It's a beautiful area. I love living here, but it's a little expensive, and the houses are really expensive. I rent though. And you would not believe for the area how much I pay in rent. But we won't talk about it. Not your business. Unless you can find it. I don't think you'll be able to find it. Okay. But no, I get one heck of a pretty good deal for considering the area. I mean, I pay less for rent at this whole house, for this whole house, than a lot of people do for their apartments downtown, down the street. And I do not envy that whatsoever. I can't, I just cannot do apartment living. I'm too noisy, and I hate other people's noise too much. Especially if I'm going to be streaming all the time, I can't have people stomping around, and we got enough noise around here as it is. Alright, let's see here. We've got DFU mode showing up on this one. Let's go to Quick Pwn. Let's give it a reset. And let's see if it restores. I could just be rich and buy a house, or I could be less rich and buy whatever house I want in Japan for a fraction of the price. Or most other countries. Zillow says 4K rent. That is way off. That is way on the high side. I mean, that's how much they should be charging for rent here. That's how much they would be if they raised our rent as much as they really could have over the years. But thankfully, up until recently, the owner has been pretty cool and didn't touch our rent for the longest time. And then the owner gave it to their daughter, and then they started jacking the rent up. she sucks. But what can you do? What can you do? You can save up and buy a house. Unfortunately for Racer here, it looks like excuse me. We've got waiting for NAND, and it is failing and rolling back the restore attempt. So that means there is a hardware issue with this HomePod. It must have an issue with the storage chips connection to the logic board, and you may have guessed because I've got one of them just hanging around here that we've come across this plenty of times. But you've got a bunch of little solder balls that connect your storage chip to the logic board, and these tend to fail over time because the chip itself is glued to the board with some infill, some black silicone stuff, and that infill tends to expand and contract at different rates than the chip itself. And what that causes is it forces the chip to bend and bow and flex unevenly, which will force these solder balls to separate, crack, and corrode over time. It's not a good time, but this one's going to need a little more work. We'll go ahead and let Racer know, and we will attempt. We'll see how much how many HomePods we have tomorrow. For today, at least, we got to try to move through and touch as many HomePods as we can here. So at least we know what this one's gonna need. It's just gonna need the slightly more expensive repair, but we'll let them know and we'll get that knocked out for them tomorrow. They did say to fix it, whether it needs just a software or a hardware repair. So let me write down. This one is a NAND issue, and I'm kind of happy to see that after having so many of the iBack ones up to this point. All right, 3453. Here we go. Hopefully we don't have too much show up tomorrow, and we can do an actual logic board repair attempt on Racer there. If we have too much tomorrow, then I'll just swap their logic board out for another working one, but we'll see. We'll see when we get there. Let's get things switched up. In the meantime, let's get 3453's name up there. And did I did put Racer's name up there. I didn't put the right issue for Racer's name up there. That's why. Okay, no worries. 3453, no power. Reset and update when we're done. Kurt is up next. Is Kurt still in the chat with us? I do believe they're probably still here with us. But if not, then I'll shoot him a text before we get to theirs. Well, anyways, we've got no lights, no power, a couple of watts on this one. That's going to be the usual dead diode. Let's dig in. $1.5? Stefan, let me know where that's at. That's cheap. That's cheap for the area. Oh, and also it's 1.5 mil for some wooden cardboard. That's literally my house at the moment. This place was built in the 70s with the infamous Zinsco breaker box that loves to burn houses down. The entire house is on a single 15 amp breaker, including the garage. Doing anything that requires any significant amount of power is an absolute nightmare. And remind you, for those of you watching not in the US, we have 120 volt power here. Actually, where I live, it's more like 109, 110 on a good day. So I am at a severe disadvantage as far as power is concerned here. I still get away with a full server rack full of stuff and a whole home full of smart speakers. But doing anything more tends to, and especially in the summertime, trying to do anything else is impossible. One person can blow dry their hair, and if you have a fan on in another side of the house at the same time, that's enough to blow the breaker. God forbid you try to microwave something while anything else is happening. You want to know what really hurts? If I'm not mistaken, the house I currently live at's valued at like $900,000, and it was originally like a $15,000 or $20,000 house when it was first built and sold. My neighbor, Lynn, he loves to come over here. He's old. He's lived at his house since he bought it when he was in his like 20s. And he was like, yeah, I bought my house with like a few months' salary, and you'll never guess what it's worth now. And it's like, dude, great for you, man. I'm not hard on him though. He's pretty cool. He's got a couple of antennas on the roof of his house. He's an amateur radio enthusiast. His license plate is his amateur radio license number. He's that into it. He's pretty cool, but he is the typical older guy. You know, some of the stuff he says, you can't help but like roll your eyes. But I'm sure I'll get to that age and I'll be ranting to the kids, giving them reasons to roll their eyes. I always wonder what those things and reasons will end up being. Your neighbor bought their house for $70,000 in the 80s and just sold for oh, it hurts. It hurts so bad. I mean, I mean, obviously we can't just go back to selling houses for $90,000, then we wouldn't have any houses left to sell for $90,000. But what can you do? You just gotta have good credit and save up as much money as you can and get the house you can get your hands on. But then again, like I said, you can get your hands on a pretty sweet setup in a lot of other countries for a fraction of the price. Yeah, you've got compromises. I mean, and then you've got to, of course, immigrate and become a citizen and all that. Learn a new language in most cases. But at the end of the day, if it comes down to living in America but having to rent for the rest of my life and potentially having to go back to apartments, or moving to another country and being able to buy and own my own property and home. I'm going to take buying my own home in another country any day. But it's not a decision I would take lightly. I've been born and raised in Washington. If I haven't lived on this side of the state, I lived on the other side of the state, and that's all I've lived. And I would not move to any other state in America. It's I stay in Washington or I move to another country, and that's that. If I can't buy a house here in Washington, I'll buy a house somewhere else. In another country. See, Stefan, I don't know if I can get approved for 500 grand in your area. They're not just gonna give me a $500,000 home loan to buy a house anywhere in the world. As far as my understanding is concerned, the amount that you get approved for a loan heavily depends on the area that you're buying the house in too. Because of course that's going to have an effect on how much money you can make and how much you can reliably pay back over time. So they don't want to Marvin, my last name is 100% German. You're correct. Not a very common German name either, despite despite the German language. It's quite an interesting last name. And if you thought my last name wasn't long enough, my parents gave me 2 middle names too. Don't have enough room there. Let's fix that. That is better. Almost. Ooh, my OCD, man. That'll be the end of me. Alright, maintenance done. That's looking pretty freaking good. Let's get our dead diode here replaced. This is what's causing our power issues. 46K date code. keep the old filters and bake them if needed. That's a test that I've been needing to do is see now. Marvin, that would only work if your old filters went bad because of age. If they went bad due to another quality control issue, which is what I suspect the filters tend to go bad for, not an age issue. Because I've said this a few times in a few different streams, but if the death farts from the filter failures, if the filters dying was an age issue, we wouldn't have seen the same issue so often, so soon after production, when they were still being sold even. If it was an age-related failure, it would have taken years. It should have taken years before anyone saw anything. As far as a DC filter age-related failure. So, with that, I mean, I need to try, because I've got so many of these sitting around here. I need to see if baking them brings them back to condition or not. That should give us a hint as to whether most of them failed due to an age issue or a quality control issue, but that said as well, I don't know if the quality control issue that would cause that problem can also be fixed with baking them. So there's a lot of questions. Questions that I need I feel like I need a college degree to answer. Or at least some college education. Oh, dude, I haven't checked my LinkedIn and I really need to update my LinkedIn. Or maybe I should just delete my LinkedIn. Do employers do legitimate, like, serious employers still use that? The one you found on Zillow now says 3K. DM me the address that you have, and I'll tell you if it's the right one or not. I mean, I'll give you a hint because it's the only zip code that I've ever lived at. But my zip code is 98008. So if you're not looking at a house in 98008, then you're not looking at the right house, or you're not looking at the current one, I should say. How'd you find his rent? Zillow, bro. Zillow's got info on rent estimates, how much rent should be for that address, sales history, and how much that address was sold for in the past. Zillow and Redfin have that info. But I mean, it's all pulled from public databases. This is all public record. People talk about privacy, but we've barely had any the entire time. It's not getting any better. I'm not saying that, but we just you never had privacy. And they're just finding ways to take more and more from you somehow. All right, that's my nut job of the. That's my nut job of the week. How about that? That's hilarious. Marvin's saying the same thing in the chat. The US has zero data privacy. That is absolutely correct. And not just that, but I mean, companies are absolutely happy to take your money and give you even more data if you can't find it on the in public resources. Oh, let's see if you got the right one here. Yeah, that's it. That's it, Marvin. The only state that has semi-data privacy is California, and that's pushing it. Yep. Yep. Marvin, it sounds like you know more about America than most Americans. But I mean, isn't that the case though with other people around the world? Is like quite often some rando that you end up striking a conversation with online somewhere ends up knowing a hell of a lot more than you do about something. Let alone the country that you live in. You know, thankfully though, I was raised relatively all right, so you won't find me making any headlines causing trouble necessarily. I think the only thing with my name out there on it is my business. I've been pretty low profile, low key up to this point. Trick Europeans into thinking you're from the US. Americans hear the nuances during a longer convo and can tell when I'm not. You know, you can iMessage my email address too. That's the same. That all goes to my iMessage. I don't think I got anything though. I'll have to check in a second. I didn't get anything, Marvin. All right. Looking good.
I'm having trouble connecting to the internet. For more info, check the Home app associated.
Marvin,
I'm having trouble.
you better apologize to that phone number. You're perfectly welcome to tell him, like, how you got that number. But you better apologize to them and say you're sorry. Marvin texted my stepdad. Marvin thought he had my phone number and he texted my stepdad. I don't know how. Well, I know how he got that number. Like we've said, in America, everything is really easy to get your hands on in America. Quite often, people submit repair requests and they don't give me their contact info, even though I ask for it. And it's surprisingly easy for me to essentially dox them. I mean, I'm not doxing them because I'm not publishing their information, but I can basically find out who they are based on what they did give me and finally make an attempt to reach out to them. Anyways, we've got Kurt here with no power, no lights, a couple of watts from the wall. Let's get that all fixed up. I hope you didn't send anything too crazy to them, Marvin. I mean, they've got a good sense of humor, but they will be pretty confused until I fill them in. He didn't read it yet. He might not. He's the kind of guy that wouldn't have read receipts turned on, so you won't know if he's read it yet. At least if I know him. You sent him that? No. I'm gonna have to call him later. You know, I haven't talked to my stepdad in like 12 years, right? Do you know what you just do? You realize what you've just done? Do you have any idea? I'm just kidding. We're on good terms. I talk to him here and there. I'll give him a ring. But I did give them a HomePod, so they probably freaked out for a second there. I'm expecting a text message from my mom any minute now. What the heck? Oh, I got a text message. I got an iMessage from an international phone number. I wonder who that is. That took long enough. Which phone number did you send it to? Oh, you sent it to my email, Stefan. You... That's no fun. Yeah, that was Stefan. I know it's you, Stefan. Apple, like, iMessage literally told me before you said that. Like, as soon as I opened iMessage, it doxed you. But I think you probably hit share. I think it asked you for your contact info and you hit share, eh? It let you text message me internationally? Because it tells me that... Huh, it's telling me that it came in on my email. Oh wait, did you text the phone number? Did you text my 425 phone number or my 509 phone number? Weird. Why does my iMessage not tell me that you sent that to my personal number? Maybe this is a user error. Maybe I don't understand how it works. Shuffle hands. What is up? Welcome, welcome. Welcome back. That kid is still fast asleep, Stefan, so we're still in silence here, I'm afraid. But I mean, at the same time, the longer that kid's asleep, the longer we have to fix stuff, so... Haha, no, she's not single. She's quite definitely married with kids. Actually, both of my sisters are married now. You're too slow. You missed out. Should have shown up a few years earlier, man. Hey, there's Marvin. I got your message. Now that I got your message, I have your phone number. It goes both ways, buddy. We're gonna have a big old group call with Mike and Stefan and Marvin. Maintenance done. What is our diode? We have got a 46K. No surprise there. Let's get that replaced. Shuffle hands, $6. Sorry, did you type that right? A $6 Mac Mini? No, please do not break my Apple Cache. I literally just got that working. It's been restricted for like a month now. I had to open a complaint with the Consumer Finance Protection Bureau. It got forwarded to the FDIC. And then finally today, it just got reactivated. You know what? Marvin, why is your Apple Cache disabled? You guys not have Apple Cache? Marvin, I wouldn't. You're playing with fire, pressing that button, even if you didn't have the balance for it. Or not Mark. Stefan. Steven. No Apple Cash in Europe? Well, I'm not moving there. How can I like survive without my Apple Cash, man? Wait. Stefan, you have Apple Cash? That's what who services Apple Cash in your country? Is it Green Dot Bank? It's Green Dot in America. I don't know what it is in Serbia. Tim took your last cent. No. Oh, Jason, welcome back. Apple Cash is only US. I mean, that makes sense, but that's what I thought. But I didn't have the option to request Apple Cash from you, Marvin, but I have the ability to request Apple Cash from Stefan. It's not active unless you give out. Oh. Okay, so it would probably even let me, like, send it, and it would deduct from my balance, but they wouldn't be able to actually accept it until they fully somebody signed up. Okay. Do I have a dog? I do not have a dog, Graham. But I do have 2 cats, and my day job, the office, there was a dog in the office today, and I was giving him lots of pets. So, but I've washed my hands like 9 or 10 times today since then, at least. So I would be impressed if they smelled it on my hands, and I think that's the only way the smell would have transferred, unless it's been kind of passively on my clothes and then passively on the pod. But I don't have any dogs. I've got a couple of cats. Maybe they're smelling the cats. That's funny. That's funny that they're smelling the HomePod though. They're smelling something on it. It's so fascinating how they get so they're so sensitive to stuff like that, and it's literally right in front of our nose, and we can't notice. You don't have Zelle, Venmo, or Cash App in Europe either. Yep. Yep. I knew that. A lot of the folks that I sell adapters to internationally, I mean, pretty much if they're not in the US and they're trying to buy something from me, like my adapter or a HomePod part, they're paying with PayPal. There's no one else with anything else out there, because PayPal lets me make an invoice that lets you pay with a credit or debit card without even signing into PayPal. And most people have, a credit or debit card. There was one interesting one. I had an international repair customer send in a HomePod like 2 years ago, and they insisted that I sign up for Revolut so that they could pay me with that. And I was kind of sketched out at first, but I kept looking into them and looking them up, and they, for everything I could find on them, they seemed perfectly legit. So I signed up for Revolut, and I've got a Revolut account, but I don't bother mentioning it unless someone brings it up, because it's only happened once. Didn't the US Revolut branch close? I have no idea. I never heard of Revolut until one of my international customers brought it up, and so I looked it up, and I was able to sign up for a whole bank account wholly online. I had to submit some identification proof, but it was all online. It was pretty quick and easy. The only other strange / non-standard payment that I've received was one person insisted that they pay in Bitcoin. Happy to do it. I've got a Coinbase account. I don't really mess with crypto anymore. I used to help manage a whole bunch of mining rigs. I actually was the one that built and managed all of the mining rigs for a couple of folks for a while, and I got a percentage out of all of the Ethereum mined just for making sure that the stuff stayed online and in mining. It was usually pretty quick, or not quick or easy, but it was usually pretty easy passive money to make. Granted, when they did have issues, it was a huge pain in the ass, because the guy's house that we were running the mining rigs at, he did not want to, for whatever reason, put the machines on network switchable outlets. So if they needed power cycled, I had to give him a ring and have him physically restart them for me. And it's like an hour drive from my house. So it was I'm glad they've all moved on from that and I don't have to worry about that stuff anymore. But cryptocurrency seems to be on a weird roller coaster of a resurgence. Oh, are you saying the Revolut money's dirty or the Bitcoin money's dirty? I mean, all Bitcoin money's dirty because it all came from, it's all pooled together. I mean, all money is dirty. Let's be real. But we won't get too real here and now. That's not our purpose. That's not our cause here.
I'm having trouble connecting to.
Here we go. We've got 3417 up next and last here. Alright, we've got number 3417 messaged. This is the last pod for today. Let's see what we've got. Yeah, sure enough, no lights, no power, nothing there. A couple of watts from the wall over there. Alright. Let's get this fixed and let's get out of here. I'm getting really hungry. The not eating anything today is starting to really kick in. The Apple Watch works. There's nothing to do with the Apple Watch. There's nothing, there's the minis. The only things besides this, there's the minis. We got a Color Mike's HomePods, and there's Sam's MacBook, but, all of which require time and/or skill that we don't have at the moment. Nah, tell you what, we've been going for 2 hours already. We're gonna get this one fixed and we're gonna get out of here. And then we'll see what tomorrow holds for us. Marvin, I did not. I'm 2 seconds from no fixing it because I can't find those replacement op amps. It was the one place on AliExpress, and then they canceled my order and took the whole page down, and I haven't found any others. Excuse me, I haven't found any others since. Also, I don't know if I'm just being bad, but is AliExpress like impossible to search on for anyone else, or is that just me? Like, if I'm looking right at a specific product page, and then I turn around and I try to search for that product, I'm not going to find it. Oh, you like the Jimmy. This is the iFixit Jimmy. The Jimmy. You gotta be careful. They can really bite back. They can be sharp. Yeah, I figured as much. There's got to be some kind of Chinese term that I have to plug in to make it work better. But see, no, I don't understand. What do I not get here when I'm typing in word for word like 60 to 80% of what's in the product's title and it not returning the result in the search results? Like, if you do the same thing on any other American marketplace, usually you'll find the result that you're looking, you'll find the product that you're looking at in the search results. We can't do any coloring today either, because my kid fell asleep, so my wife didn't end up going out and picking anything up. So I didn't get to have her. I didn't even get to ask her. So the only color I have on hand at the moment is Kentucky Sky Blue and bleach, and the bleach doesn't do anything. So Mike's already got blue. I've probably got all of like 2 calories left in my body worth of energy left here too, so. Ooh. Yeah, we're running on empty. And we'd probably be at 1 calorie if it wasn't for the... Oh, thank you. Just go and get it yourself. No, not on a day like today. Today was too much for me. Today was too much for me, and we've gone longer than I would have thought at first here. I've been up for 12 hours now. About. And the moment I wake up, I'm working. I hate sitting around doing nothing. I gotta be working on something, doing something. That's weird. That looks perfectly straight in person and really weird on camera. I don't know how to explain that. Other than the, well, my camera's not shooting straight down. The up close camera, it's at an angle, so. That might explain it, but. Oh, hey, what are we doing? We didn't replace the diode. We didn't fix the actual problem, we just did maintenance here. Which is good, you know? We don't want this coming back for death farts. That's what those filters go bad and cause. But this is what's actually wrong here. Our 46K dated Schottky diode. Let's get that replaced and then we can put this back together. Huh. Shuffle hands. I haven't been in the exact same situation with the same software, but I've been in similar situations and done that. Sometimes you just screw it. Any good free video editors for Mac that actually let you export your project? I use DaVinci Resolve. I have had, and I don't do any super crazy complicated stuff, but I have not run into any show-stopping limitations with the free version of DaVinci Resolve. iMovie, unironically, is also pretty good as a very basic video editor. But if you need any more, if you want to do anything fancier, then and iMovie's pretty capable. I'll give it that. But if you want to do some fancy stuff, DaVinci Resolve is going to be the next. It's going to be the best free thing you can get your hands on, unless you want to break some rules. Listen, I was raised on Final Cut. I was raised on Final Cut before the big redesign that made everyone real salty. Final Cut on Snow Leopard, man. Those were the days. Back when you had to deinterlace your video because you recorded in 1080i or 720i from your analog cameras. You got close, Shuffle Hands. DaVinci is spelled out almost the same, just without an H. Dan, what is up? Welcome back. You've got the tail end of our repair stream here. We're wrapping up our last pod for today. This is just another anonymous no power. Nothing too exciting today. Pretty run-of-the-mill stuff. We had a couple of no power. We had one bricked HomePod with the blinkies. It ended up having a NAND issue, so we'll have to reapproach that one tomorrow. But overall, no surprises, nothing crazy here, just another standard set of repairs. Quick, don't think how many screws in the HomePod. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Wait. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 30, 36, 45, 51, 55, 59, 61. There are 61 screws inside of the first gen HomePod. $64. 69, 73. There are 73 screws inside of the HomePod. Look what you didn't do anything. Look what I've done. Hey, you think that's a lot? Yeah, I mean, yeah. When you say it out loud, there are 73 screws in this thing. It's kind of crazy to think about for a speaker. Even crazier to think. How about this? With 73 screws inside of a HomePod, if it took us 1 minute for each screw, it would still take us over an hour. And we've got the whole process, including teardown, repair, reassembly, down to 15 to 20 minutes if we're really trying hard. But more like 20 to 30 minutes if we're hanging out and chilling and chatting with you guys. Yeah, the electric driver can really save up the time. I mean, it's not worth it if you're only gonna fix 1 or 2 for yourself. But if you're gonna be cranking through dozens of these a day, a week, a month, it's gonna start saving you a lot of time real quick. If I can put together another working one of these, I'll give some of them away to you folks. I just have to. It's on the list. It's on the list of things to do. You know how it goes. I have stuff for you folks. I have stuff to give you folks. And I have access to extremely cheap international shipping if it's within a reasonable weight. we're talking $14 to ship anything anywhere in the world if it weighs less than a pound, and you can fit it in like a 10 by 10 by 10 box or smaller. And then it's like 18 or $19 up to a pound. And it's like $20 to $30 for a couple of pounds most places. You can't do super cheap shipping with a lot of weight everywhere, unfortunately. But it makes me wonder how they get away with some of this really cheap shipping to some of these places. Like, are they just like shoving them under the seat on a commercial flight? Yeah, I bet. I mean, it's a, you know, it's not a cheap screwdriver. There's a lot of people that do a lot of things, but Marvin, you in particular, you know, we'll see. I cannot, you know, don't get your hopes up. I won't make any promises, but we'll see what we can do for a little thanks for helping out with that fella that couldn't get their HomePod restored. Shipping companies make their money from private customers. No, I'm pretty sure they make their money by sneaking all of their packages onto commercial flights. And or not commercial, regular flights with regular people on them, and they just shove their packages into people's checked luggage, and then they take it back out at the destination. That's how they do it so cheap. Missed yesterday. Oh, you didn't miss much yesterday, Dan. It was TTS Tuesday yesterday. A couple of yoo-hoos in the TTS chat. With some funny memes, but that's about it. And this is about it. We've got 3417 all fixed. Folks, that is it for here and now. I've got other things to get to. And I've got dinner to help make with the wife. We're gonna have breakfast for dinner. Ooh, I've been looking forward to this. Ooh, let me grab the bleach samples really quick. Okay. Here is a sample. Blinking volume buttons. Seriously? That's not a problem. I'll restore this one. It's going to be a software issue, I know it. But I'll let 3417 know that we got it repaired and powering up, but it has the blinking volume buttons now. I'll give it a software restore. That's probably all it needs. In any case, real quick before we go, here are my samples from the bleach test. So here is an untouched sample. I didn't do anything to this. This is just the control, so you know what to compare against. And here is sitting in 10% concentration bleach for a few hours, and then 50% for a few more hours, and then 100% for another day. I mean, practically completely undifferent, with the exception now it's starting to unglue from itself, so that's not good. All the bleach did was kind of start to separate the layers. The inner sock, surprisingly, took some of the bleach effect. And for context, that's what the inner sock normally looks like. These HomePod meshes are comprised of 2 layers. Well, more than 2 layers, but two functional layers here. You got the inner sock and you got the outer mesh. The inner sock is one single layer of that fabric, and that changed. And then the outer mesh is multiple layers of this woven fabric that are glued together, and that's what tends to happen when these are exposed to the wrong chemicals or too much heat or UV. Is the glue will break down, and then you've got this weird multi-layer loosey-goosey effect. But there you go. The bleach did not work at all on the space gray mesh, and it wouldn't. Yeah, that wouldn't. No. We're gonna have to come up with something else to make these look white. But folks, that is it for here now. I hope you all enjoyed this live stream repair, and I hope to catch you in the next one. Goodbye.